let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws. We got the brand new story trailer this week, and a lot of details have dropped concerning what we're going to get into, what the story is going to be about. Again, just looking at expansion and traversal across a lot of different recognizable places, as well as some new ones. You know, the Tatooine, Akiva. A lot of Star Wars fans know that, and then new crafted areas like Tashara. They're really trying to create a lot of dense city impact. A lot of really explorable areas, a lot of life in the areas that you visit. Some really cool story things with the underbelly of just the Empire, with all the different criminal organizations you can run into and interact with. There's a reputation system in there, which again, different missions and activities that you get into will impact your score across those things. You have your companion with you, Nix, that can be distract guards. A lot of stealth gameplay in there, a lot of upgradable sections, a lot of upgradable pieces that open up explorable sections. A lot of cool new stuff that's introduced, but with the story beats kind of laid down a little bit and some of the gameplay expanded upon. How you feeling now about Star Wars Outlaws?
It looks really cool. Gameplay still looks a little kind of whatever, but I don't think that's really it. I think it will it'll hit the right market. Like, it doesn't need to be super fast paced, super flashy for it to be fun. But I do think that all these added story elements give it a lot more weight. So if it's something like, oh, I feel like the gameplay is lacking in some kind of capacity, I still have at least the knowledge that all this stuff kind of matters. It just they have to just give all these, like, working with the factions has to actually be very meaningful, like it has to make you really question what you want to get done, or why you want to take this mission on, why you want to do this, that, and the third. I am still hesitant, but I do think that this is something that will be really dope to experience, because it's very different from your Jedi Survivors, your oh my god, Force Unleashed, that's the name of it. Like, I still think it'll be really dope, but like, I want to see a little bit more gameplay. The gameplay they showed us wasn't awful, like it wasn't bad, but it just seemed kind of just your run-of-the-mill Ubisoft third-person shooter. Like, it just didn't really wow me. I wasn't sitting there like, I can't wait to dive into this game. But if the story and the reputation system is dope, then honestly it may be enough for some people who don't really care about fast-paced action. They just want a good story, a good Star Wars story.
Yeah. My thing is, on two sides, I really enjoy that they include a lot of, again, like the criminal underbelly. They have representation from a lot of different, of underground factions and the clans. You see, what's it called? The Hutts, the Ashiga, like, I'm saying, a lot of cool different outlooks on the underworld, which is nice. You can interact with a different dimension of Star Wars that either people haven't seen as much or not to this level, which is cool. I love that. I'm invested. That's the reason that I do want to at least check in with it. If they get the stealth gameplay right, if they make the variety of level interaction very, very deep, I think we have something here that I can excuse maybe the less expansive gameplay of, like, playing as a Jedi per se, or somebody who might have a more expansive skill set than a K-Vest. But if they can nail that level of depth in interaction with the environment, again, like the stealth options, little things that are here and there that you can change, create some different moments with it, different approaches to a level, I think that there's a game in here that can be worth it. And I think it can be a very enjoyable experience. I think the narrative heavy elements will benefit it. I agree with you on the fact that the interactions and the reputation system has to lead somewhere. It has to lead to some different outcomes, whether it be multiple endings or some different interactions or side missions that weren't available through interaction in one way or another. I want those branching paths. I want branching paths in this. If it's so story heavy and there's so many interactions with different factions and characters involved, I want that ability to branch off in a select path that really not everybody can get to. I would love that. I'm curious to see how the end game looks for this. I'm curious how the level of explorability outside of the the cities looks. If they're gonna make these areas densely packed, but you can travel by your speeder. You can travel by your ship. I'm wondering how those transitions kind of fit. We saw in the first gameplay reveal that you can, like, warp right into space and go right into a space battle. I'm curious to see how the flow of all of that is in between, travel and going from place to place and getting to your destination. Very curious about that. One thing, again, Starfield got knocked points off of for, and again, I'm sorry to compare Starfield just because it's in space, but that level of immersion to get from one spot to another is very, very, I guess, important and prioritized for people who are looking in the sci-fi era and the space genre. So they got a couple points to hit. But I'm not disinterested. I'm actually pretty interested in what this develops to be. I'm just a little bit cautious of how deep the game can actually go. Is it going to provide us with actual actionable ends through what we do? Does it provide us a lot of difference and pretty distinct experiences through our choices, or is it just going to have us on the track and we do our little stealth sections, or we can just shoot it out and the same outcome is the same outcome? I'm wondering how deep the well goes for those, again, that branching gameplay, how your decisions have a ripple effect, but we'll see in time. It looks interesting though. It looks interesting, and I'm not turned away from it. I'm actually still pretty locked in with it. It drops August 30th, which might be a little bit of a problem because a little game called Black Myth Wukong drops in near the same time as it. So might be a little bit of friction, brother. Might be a little bit of friction. But we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, everything I've been seeing so far is it's solid. It's solid. It's encouraging signs from Star Wars Outlaws. I just need to keep seeing more of what we can do. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a pretty interesting game, and like you said, the depth at which things matter is really what's going to be either its downfall or what makes this game amazing. Because one thing will be like, yo, doing this for this syndicate will make the other syndicate pretty upset, but being like, hey, doing this for this mission specifically has changed the way this mission will now work, and will also change the way this relationship works now too. Like, there's a lot that they can do if they really want to like focus more on the storytelling and the relationship building. If that's the case, then won't really worry about like regular third-person shooter action. But if I'm doing regular third-person shooter action, then it's regular fucking combat, story beats, story beats, and like not real big. Just like, hey, I'm just not a fan of you right now. Like, I'm not really gonna be interested. Like, I was playing. And not to compare it, because I'm not comparing these games, but like, for example, I was playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I fucked up a mission, so I had to wait 3 days to go back to be able to do the mission. And I'm over here exploring different things. Like, now I can't just go back and just restart the shit and just like redo. Like, this had some real impact on what I did. So now my whole game plan has changed. Like, that's the kind of level of like, I want minimum that. I want minimum. You did this mission, this entire sector now does not like you. Now when you go here, you have to sneak in. Now, like, I need big reasons.
Facts. Things gotta matter. Things have to matter if you're putting this much emphasis on story. So I just want this that level of a butterfly effect. If you do one thing, this is how everybody looks at it from their perspective on your actions. So we want that and a Star Wars frame sounds very fucking interesting, and that's something I would love to get into. So it could be another really big step for a Star Wars game. So we'll see though.